Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please confirm the chat box. Thank you, Chuck. Surya. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your responses in the chat box. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's stop the chat so that we can focus on the training. What's our plan for our today's session? In the last session, we have learned how to deal with the files, how to deal with directories. We have seen how to list of files. We have know how to move from one directory to other directories. So that's what we have planned for our previous session. What's our plan for today's session? This is most important session. One of the most important session. The key points in today's session is to understand the concept of difference between dollar prompt and hash prompt, which is very important. How to use and when to use pseudo keyword. Understanding the file permissions and changing the file permissions is a regular activity by a DevOps engineer. We'll be discussing that. We'll also learn how can we perform package management if time permits. This is our plan. This is our plan for our today's session. So before moving on, let's have a quick interaction. Hello, Nanda Kishore. Good evening. Can you hear me? Kishore, I cannot hear you. Please check the mic settings. Please check your mic settings, Kishore. We are unable to hear your voice. Sunil Vijay.
Hi, Sunil.
Hi, Sunil. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Yes.
Down in yesterday's class, we have created the hidden files, right?
I'm getting a background noise. Yeah.
Wait a second. I'm checking. It's clear?
Yeah, Sunil, please continue.
Sorry for disturbance.
No problem.
And yeah, and my doubt is yesterday's class, which we have created the hidden files, right? With the
Yes.
dot. If you suppose, whenever we want some normal files, we can hidden and remove the hidden files.
Rename a file. Remove the dot, it becomes a normal file. Okay.
Okay.
We have a rename command in Linux. When you remove a particular dot in that particular file, it becomes a normal file. If you add a dot in the beginning, it becomes a hidden file, Kishore. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry,
Thank you so much.
Sunil. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We cannot hear you, Kishore. Okay. Vishal Sharma.
Hey Sunil, thanks for this session.
Thank you, Vishal.
Yeah, so I already pasted my question. So my question is like, you are picking only few random participants every day. So in
Yes.
case we have any question, in
You
case,
can send me a WhatsApp message. Whenever I'll free, I'll respond to you. Okay.
okay. And I have a question. Uh,
Yes.
you are showing us, that pipelines, CI/CD. Are you covering
Yes.
up? Are you covering? And this course is based on AWS. So are you covering AWS code pipeline also, like code
No.
commit pipeline and?
No. That's part of AWS course. Okay. So we are
Okay.
not covering AWS code commit or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Purely we'll be discussing on CI/CD Jenkins.
Jenkins. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. Shika Srivatsava. Good evening, Shika.
Yeah, good evening, Sunil. That my question is that are we going to cover any scripting language in this course?
No. It's always recommended to learn shell scripting, but that's not part of this particular course. It's pretty simple one.
Okay,
Okay.
so we
Okay.
are going to cover only the Linux part, right?
Linux part, that's the only mandatory one. Shell scripting is an optional one. Okay.
Okay. And one more thing, like the day before yesterday, you have showed how like to connect the EC2 instance using the Git bash. Can you just please
Yes.
show me how we can connect with the
Using
putty?
putty. With the
Yeah,
coming
using
classes, we
putty.
also see putty. Both are equal. Okay.
Okay.
Any
Yeah,
terminal is
yeah.
comfortable. You will also experience the putty soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Anything
much.
more, Shika? You're from which location?
Actually, I'm based on Noida location, and
Mhm.
currently I'm working with Coforge Limited, having 3 years of experience in production support. So I
Okay.
want to switch myself into the DevOps
Yes.
process.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Are you aware of AWS?
Yeah, AWS little bit. I have learned some a few AWS services by myself, like EC2,
Okay.
VPC, these few
Okay.
services.
Okay. Okay, Shika. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on. So I already have logged into my AWS account. I already have logged into my AWS account. So let's go to a service EC2. Instances. I think we have created an instance, isn't it? Yes, this is the machine which we have created, which we are using it daily. So let's start the instance. Before moving on, by the time when the instance gets started, let's have a talk with Grant Baka. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing good. Let me see. Salil, or sorry if I don't pronounce the name good.
That's okay. Yes, your question, please.
Yeah, my question, like, I wanted to understand, like, with the material you're giving in, we're having from you, is that going to be enough for us to have like a DevOps job?
Do you know what are the tools which are covered as part of a training course? Close to 8 tools, 7 tools which are covering. Those are the best tools and highly in demand tools in the current market. Okay. So these tools are enough, but it's always better if you want to learn more. There are close to 25 tools in DevOps. Okay. I have picked up the frequently used tools which are used widely in the market, and I have designed the content. Okay. So this tool, this content is like something like a benchmark, and it's always you can learn more. Okay.
No. Okay, so we can learn more by ourselves.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So this one are the basic.
We are extensively covering tools with respect to operations team, with respect to DevOps team. So the primary tools are always covered in this course.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the instance is started. Connect. Copy the SSH command. Where did I save my key pair? Key pair, I have saved it in my desktop. You know, how can we connect it? I open git bash. Done. Let's move on. We already have seen to list out all the files. We have a list command, list to see list of all the files. When you want to see more information about the file, date and time when the file has been created, the size of the file, the permissions what the file, we have ls-l, we have discussed about that. And whenever you want to see the hidden files also, we have ls-a. These are the combination of options what we have discussed. Agree, isn't it? Yes, let's quickly experience it. ls to just list out all the files. ls-l will provide you more information about the file, like date and time when the file has been created, the size of the file, the permissions of the file, the owner what the file belongs to. You are in a position to get more information about the file by using long list option. ls-a will provide you normal files as well as hidden files. You can anyways use the combination. This is all what we have discussed in the previous class. Okay. Whenever you want to list out files according to the timestamp, important, whenever you want to list the files according to your timestamp, the option is -lt. T stands for timestamp. Look at the result of it, ls-lt. You get the files, but the latest file will be at the top. Can you see 1156 is the latest file? You are able to sort, you are able to arrange the files, and you are able to see the latest file at the top. Whenever you want to list the files according to the timestamp, you want the latest file to be displayed at the top and the oldest file to be at the bottom. You can use timestamp. T stands for timestamp. You can arrange the rows and get the information. Very important. How to know the current user? Friends, very, very important. How to know the current user? You are working with Linux, no doubt on that. You are connected to terminal and you are working with Linux. You are communicating to the operating system. You want to know the current user using which you are working. You are connected. What is your current user? Using which user you're working with the operating system. Whenever you want to know the current user, Whenever you want to know the current user using which you're connected to the Linux operating system, we have a command called who am I. We'll show you the current user. Look at the result of the command. You are getting the current user as Ubuntu. This is a username. Ubuntu is a default user for the Ubuntu operating system. You're connected and you're working with which user? Ubuntu user. Clear? Clear about this? So whenever you want to know the current user, by default, you'll be connected with the Ubuntu user. In case if you want to check the current user using which you're working, we have a command called who am I. We have a command called who am I, which will show you the current user. Perfect. Okay. Ubuntu is a normal user. There are two types of users in Linux. A regular user, a normal user. The other user is a root user. Every Linux machine comes with a root user. By default, every Linux machine comes with a root user. Root user is a high-level user. Root user is a high-level user. He has all the permissions. He has all the privileges. He can do anything. So the root user is a high-level user, something like an administrator, and the rest of all the users are the regular users. Clear? Clear about this? There are two types of users. The default, you get a root user, that's a high-level user, and rest of all the users are the normal users. Okay. Now, what is the difference between $prompt and hash prompt? If you can see the prompt now, you're getting as a $prompt. $prompts indicates that you are a normal user. Currently, you're working with a normal user. Ubuntu is a normal user. $prompt indicates normal user. Hash prompt indicates a root user. If you're getting a hash prompt in the terminal, that means you're working with root user. Using the terminal, using the prompt, you can identify, are you working with a normal user or a root user? If the prompt shows as hash, it means a root user. If you're seeing a prompt as $, it's normal user. Okay, so right now Ubuntu is a normal user. Clear? Clear about this? Using the prompt, you can identify whether you're working with a normal user or a root user. Perfect. Now, how to switch from one user to other user? How to switch from one user to other user? You may have a question, Sunil. You said that there are two types of users, normal user and root user. Now I want to shift to root user. I want to switch to root user. Can we do that? Yes, you can do that. We have a command in Linux, SU stands for switch user. We have a command in Linux, SU stands for switch user. This switch user command will help you to switch from one user to other user. Switch user command helps you to switch from one user to other user. Currently, what is your user? Your user is you already have seen currently you're working with which user? Ubuntu user. This is your current user. Now, what you want to do? You want to switch to root user. I want to experience the root user. I want to switch to root user. Can we switch from one user to other user? Yes, we have a command in Linux, SU stands for switch user. Using this switch user command, you can switch from one user to other user. I want to switch to root user. So the command is SU followed the username which you want to switch. Followed the username I want to switch. I want to switch to root user. Clear? So this is a command. This is a command which helps you to switch to root user. I want to switch to root user right now. So look at the command. SU. I want to switch to user root. Please experience the result of this command. It is asking for password. Obviously, you can switch from one user to other user only when you know the password or credentials. Okay, right now I do not have the password. So obviously, authentication failure. I am unable to switch to root user because I do not have the password. I am unable to switch to root user because I do not have the password, but I have shown you how to switch to root user. We have a switch user command. When you know the credentials, when you know the password of the corresponding user, yes, you can switch it. Clear? Is this clear how to switch from one user to other user? We have a command called switch user, followed with the username you want to switch, which helps you to switch from one user to other user. Clear? Nitesh, good evening. Clear about how to know the current user, Nitesh? Is this clear about how difference between the dollar prompt and the hash prompt, and you know the how to know the current user, and you also now know how to switch from one user to other user? Your question, Nitesh, I can see your hand raised. Okay. Mukesh Polisetti. Nitesh, are you there? Mukesh Polisetti.
Yes, Sunil.
Your question, please.
Yeah, Sunil, actually, this is my first class.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of my friends suggested regarding these classes. So
Okay.
I know, after joining the classes, so we'll get the recordings as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Every
Yeah.
session is recorded. Are you in the WhatsApp group?
No, I mean, no, Sunil, no, not in the group.
I will share you the WhatsApp group link related to this particular batch. Join this particular WhatsApp group to get
Sure.
the more updates.
Yeah, sure, Sunil, I do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Switch user. I have shown you how to switch to user, but we are unable to switch because we do not have the credentials. Okay, let's move on. Tejas.
Hello, hi Sunil.
Hi Tejas. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I have been following you since last 3 4 days.
Okay.
So I like this session, and I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your efforts.
Thank you.
For today's session, right now, I have a question. That
Yes.
is, what is use of what is the practical situation where we make use of this identifying user, and how root user is helping us, or in which
Okay.
cases it will be
Okay.
useful.
Tejas, I hope you know we are learning DevOps on AWS environment, isn't it?
Right, right.
All the DevOps tool will be installed and configured on the AWS environment. Okay. So when you want to configure, when you want to have full control of your DevOps tools, you have to be strong in Linux. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So all the tools like Docker, everything will be installing on Linux operating system, and we'll be configuring the Linux operating system according to the tool requirements. So that is the reason these are something very important, key, regularly used tasks for a DevOps engineer. So that's the reason we are touch basing on it. Okay.
Switching between the users.
Not just this is one such example. Switching between the users, changing the permissions, understanding the sudo keyword. We'll be regularly using, we'll be performing package management using apt repository. These are the regular day-to-day activities.
Okay, okay, okay.
All these are day-to-day regular activities which a DevOps engineer needs to note. Okay.
Okay.
Understanding the file permissions. You have to change the file permissions to get the full control of the operating system. So got it? So these are the frequently used jobs. That's the reason we are spending some time to make ourselves hands-free with the Linux environment, so that we'll be feeling comfortable on the DevOps tools. Okay.
Right.
Clear,
No, but
Tejas?
still, Sunil, actually, what is use of switching between the users? That is a specific thing I was asking.
Okay. I'm giving a specific answer. There is a tool called Docker. Docker is
Right,
all about providing the infrastructure as form of a container. We'll be
right.
installing Docker on Linux operating system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you want to have containers, you need to have full control on the operating system. But by default, you'll be working with $prompt. You have to switch to root user to get the control.
Okay,
When
okay,
can you know
okay.
that? When can you do that? Only when you know the command, then you can switch the user. So that
Right.
is the reason I'm explaining in this context. Okay.
Yeah, this is what I was expecting. Thank you very much.
Okay. One point or other, we'll be using all these points. Okay. At one
Okay,
time or
okay,
other. Okay.
okay.
Clear, Tejas?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. Let's move on. Why are we unable to switch to root user? Why we are unable to switch to root user? We are unable to switch to root user because you do not have the credentials. As you do not have the credentials, you are unable to switch to root user. Fine. Now, I want to run this command at any cost, even though I don't have the credentials. Even though I do not have the credentials, at any cost, I want to run this command by force. If you want to run a command by force, okay, just to prefix the command with the word sudo. This is the command which helps you to switch from one user to other user, and you know we are switching to root user. But I'm prefixing the command with the keyword sudo. When you prefix the command with the keyword sudo, let's experience what happens. Observe here what's happening. Observe here what happened, what prompt you're getting, hash prompt. That means you have successfully shifted to root user. Because we know that a root user is indicated with the hash prompt. If you want to confirm whether we are working with root user or not, anyways, we have a command called who am I. Look at the result. You have successfully shifted to root user. We have switched to root user. Did you provide the credentials? Did you provide the credentials? No, we do not have the credentials, but still but you are able to successfully do that by using the prefixing the keyword called sudo. So sudo is a very important keyword, stands for super user do. Sudo is a very important keyword, stands for super user do. That means you are instructing as from a super user point of view, like a root user. So any command, if you are unable to run, any command, if you're unable to run because of the permissions or privileges, if you're not having enough credentials, but still if you want to run by any cost, just prefix the command with the keyword called sudo, stands for super user do, the command gets executed. In such case, obviously you may have questions. Sunil, in that case, what is the difference between a normal user and a root user? Any command we can run it by using the sudo, so you can do anything with a normal user, isn't it? You are right, but the user should have sudo permission. The user should have, when you are creating a user, root user should give the sudo permissions to the normal user. When root user gives a sudo permission to the normal user, then the normal user can prefix the word, prefix the keyword called sudo. Otherwise, even though he prefixes the word with the sudo, it will not work. I hope I'm very clear. Okay, when a user has sudo permissions, he can run it and then he can do it as if like a root user. Clear about the importance of the keyword called super user do. Okay, you have successfully shifted to root user. I want to switch back to Ubuntu user. I want to switch to Ubuntu user. Yes, we have a command called switch user followed by the username you want to switch. Ubuntu. Did you switch back to Ubuntu user? Yes. You may have a question, why it is not prompting for password? It is not prompting for password because you're switching from high level user to low level user. Look at the hierarchy. The root user is the topmost user. And Ubuntu is a normal user. When you're switching from root user to Ubuntu user, a normal user, it will not prompt for password. But vice versa, when you're moving from the normal user, that is Ubuntu, to root user, then it will prompt for password. I hope I'm very clear in showing you how to switch from one user to other user and the importance of the keyword called sudo. Importance of the keyword called sudo. Clear? Let's move on. Quick, small commands. Date will show you the current date. Cal will show you the current calendar month. The current month is July 2021. Okay, so cal will show you the current month and date will show you the current date. Fine. And let's move on to the most important point of the today's session, understanding the file permissions. Let's move on to one of the most important point for the today's session, understanding the file permissions. Tejas, if you don't mind, can we have a talk?
Hello?
Yes, Tejas. Okay. LS stands for list, will list out all the files, isn't it? As well as directories.
Yes.
Okay. I want to get more information about the files, like the date and time, the size of the file, the permissions of that particular file. We know it, isn't it, Tejas? How can we do it?
Yeah, after that hyphen L, yeah.
Stands for long list, will provide you
Long
more
list.
information.
hyphen A provides all the information. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Now, what is D1? Is it a file or a directory?
It's a directory.
Okay, how do you identify it?
Because from the color codes.
Yes, as of now, we know how to identify whether it's a file or a directory. You are able to do it by using the color. The directory is represented with blue color and rest file is represented as black and white. Am I right, Tejas?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's say if a terminal is not supporting colors, Tejas, if a terminal
Yes.
is not supporting colors, if everything is black and white,
Okay.
in such case, how to identify which one is a file and which one is a directory?
I guess getting
Look at
more
this.
details about that.
Yes, by getting more details about this list of files and directories, ls-l, okay,
Hyphen A.
this result, in this result, long list, look at the importance of the first character. If the first character is used to identify whether it's a file or a directory, the first character is used to identify whether it is a file or a directory. If it is directory, you will get it as D. If it is file, you get it as hyphen. So there is an importance for the first character in ls-l. There is an importance for the first character. If the first character is D, it is a directory. If the first character is hyphen, it is a file. So I hope you are very clear in the importance of the first character, and now you're in a position to identify which one is a file and which one is a directory by using the long list option. Okay, yes. Now, let's move on. Let's move on understanding the permissions of a file. When I say understanding the file permissions, it also applicable to directories also. Both files and directories are having the same notation. So when I say understanding the file permissions, it's applicable to both files as well as directories. Yes. A file, when I say file, it is applicable to both files as well as directories, can have three types of permissions. A file can have three types of permissions: read, write, execute. A file or a directory will have three types of permissions: read, write, execute. Read is represented with letter R. Obviously, write is represented with letter W, and execute is represented with letter X. You can see letters R, W, read, write, X stands for execute. So the first character is used to identify whether it is a file or directory. The remaining, how many characters? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The remaining 9 characters will help you to provide permissions of a particular file. As I mentioned, the file will have three types of permissions: read, write, execute. Read is represented with letter R, write is represented with letter W, and execute is represented with letter X. Clear? Clear about the types of permissions? Now, we have three types of users in Linux. We have three types of users: owner, with respect to files. I'm talking with respect to files. Group, others. We have three types of users: owner, owner of the file, group the file belongs to, others. These are three types of users. Okay. Now, there are three types of permissions, and there are three types of users with respect to understanding the file permissions. Okay. Now let's try to understand the remaining 9 characters. First character we already have understood. Let's discuss about the remaining 9 characters. 1, 2, 3, 6. Let's try to understand the remaining 9 characters. Okay. Look at my statement. First 3 characters The first 3 characters indicates the permissions given to owner of the file. The first three letters indicates the permissions given to owner. The next 3 letters indicates the permission given to group. What is group? I'll explain later. Collection of users is nothing but a group. The next 3 letters will indicate the permissions given to others. I repeat again, let's try to understand the 9 letters. The first 3 letters will indicate the permission to owner. The next 3 letters will indicate the permissions given to group. The next 3 letters will indicate the permissions given to others. Clear about this? Now let's try to understand the permissions with respect to file F1. Let's try to understand the permissions with respect to file F1. Let us try to understand the permissions with respect to file F1. Shika, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can we have a talk?
Yeah, sure.
Look at my statement. Listen to my statement.
Yes.
File F1.
Yes.
Try to understand. Owner can read, write.
Yes.
Group can read, write.
Yeah.
Others can only read. Others cannot write. Others cannot execute.
Yes.
Do you agree with my statement? Agree,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
The first 3 letters indicates the permissions given to
Also
owner. So
and
owner
the
can
third-
read, write.
Yeah.
Group can also read, write.
Read, write.
And others can only read. Others
Read.
cannot write. Others cannot execute.
Cannot
Am I
execute
clear?
it. Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any questions in understanding the file permissions, Shika?
No, not yet.
You're very clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's try to understand with respect to directory. Owner can you tell me
Read,
that?
write, execute.
That
Read,
means
write,
all
and
the
execute.
permissions. That
Yeah,
means
all
all
the
the permissions.
Yeah.
Group can
And read, write, execute all the permissions. And with the others, only read and execute, not write there.
Yes, perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
Now you are clear. Now you are in position to understand the permissions of a particular file or a directory.
Yeah, but sometimes we have seen these permissions in the with respect of the numbers, like 7
Yes,
or
we
5.
are coming to that. That is called numerical notation. We are coming to that point.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
We have 2 types of notations: numerical notations and alphabetical notations. We'll be discussing soon. First, let's try to understand. Once you clearly understand the permissions, then we can easily play changing the permissions. Okay.
Sure.
Shika, am I clear?
Yeah.
Any questions in understanding the permissions?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we continue our discussion? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. As we now understood permissions of a particular file, let's also learn how can we change the permissions. Whenever you want to change the permissions of a particular file. So we already have discussed about understanding the file permissions. Let's move on how can we change the permissions. Whenever you want to change the permissions, we have a command called change mode. Whenever you want to change the permissions of a particular file or a directory, we have a command called change mode, which helps you to chmod change mode, which helps you to change the permissions of a particular file or a directory as per your requirements. Let's experience how can we change the permissions. We know how to understand the permissions. Now we are trying to change the permissions of a specific file. Okay. In 2 ways, we can change the permissions of a file. When I say file, it applicable to directory also. In 2 ways, we can change the permissions of a file. Using numerical notation, we can change the permissions. Using alphabetical notation also, you can change the permissions. Whichever you feel comfortable, you follow the notation, but you should be in a position to change the permissions, which is a frequently used responsibility. Let's experience how can we change the permissions of a particular file using numerical notation. Now I'm showing you how can we change the permissions of a particular file using the numerical notation. We know that we have 3 types of permissions. We already know that we have 3 types of permissions, isn't it? Let's have a quick recap. We have 3 types of permissions. We know we have three types of permissions: read, write, and execute. Read, write, execute. We have three types of permissions. A read is represented with number 4. Write is represented with number 2. Execute is represented with number 1. There's a notation. For every permission, there's a notation. For read, the number is 4. For write, the number is numerical notation is 2. And for execute, the notation is 1. Okay. And whenever you want to change the permissions, we have a command called change mode, which helps you to change the permissions. Let's experience the first example. First example is very important. Any questions you can ask me. I think it is pretty simple, straightforward. Let's learn how can we change the permissions using the change mode command for a specific file. Okay. Now, Shika, can we have a talk?
Yes.
Consider file F1. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Owner can read, write. Group can
Yes.
read, write, and others can read only. Agree?
Read only. Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
Now my requirement is let's take the current permissions. Let's take a note of the current permissions for the file F1.
Okay.
The current permissions. Let's take a note. Read, write, hyphen. Read, write, hyphen, and read hyphen hyphen. This is the current permissions for the file F1, isn't it?
Yes. That's the
Shika.
same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now my requirement is I want to change the permission for owner of the file.
Okay.
I want to change the permission for the owner of the file. As of now, owner is having only 2 permissions: read, write, execute. But I want to give all the three permissions: read, write, execute.
Okay.
Currently, owner is having only 2 permissions: read, write. Now I want to provide all the 3 permissions, and I don't want to disturb the group. I don't want to disturb the permissions for others. I only want to disturb the permissions of owner. Currently, owner is having only 2 permissions: read and write. Now I want to give all the 3 permissions to owner, and I don't want to disturb the group, and I don't want to disturb the others. Am I right, Shika? Is this
Yes.
requirement clear? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Whenever you want to change the permissions, now we are discussing about numerical notation. Now I'm
Okay.
discussing about numerical notation.
Yes.
As you want to give all the permissions: read, write, and execute. Okay. So the
Yes.
number is 4 plus 2 plus 1
2.
because you want to give all the permissions.
Yeah,
Read is
it
for
will be
4 and write for 2 and execute for 1. So the number is
7. 7. 4
7.
plus 2 plus. Yeah.
So
7.
so my command is change mode. I use 7 because the first digit is for owner. Okay,
For
owner, I
owner,
want to
yeah.
give all the permissions, so I'm writing 7. And for group, I don't want to disturb. I want to have as is. As is nothing but read, write.
That's a
Read,
read
write
and
is
write.
nothing but
So,
read
yeah,
and write is nothing but the number
6.
6. You're right. And for group also, I don't want. For group is done. For others, I don't want to change the permission. So it is
That
currently
is
read.
read.
Read is represented
Okay.
with the number 4.
4.
So I use as is the same number
7,
4.
6, 4.
For which file I want to change the permissions,
F1.
mention the file name. This is the command.
Yeah.
Let's experience. This command, owner, I am giving all permissions, and 6 is nothing but read and write. I'm not disturbing for groups. I'm not disturbing for others. Is it successfully executed, Shika? Let's
Yes.
experience ls-l. Are you able to achieve your requirement? Are you able to provide
Yes.
the
Yes.
permission? Am I clear?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
not
we can see
disturbing
that.
you are not
Other-
disturbing the group. You're not disturbing the
The
others. Your
others.
requirement is to give all the permissions. You are successfully done changing the permissions by using the change mode command. Am I clear, Shika?
Yes.
Is this clear how exactly we can change the permissions? Now,
Yes.
Shika, I will write the command. Can you guess what this command can do?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I will write the command, try to interpret the command, and tell me the output. Change mode
Okay.
777 for the file F1.
For the file F1, for owner, for others, and for the group. For all the groups, it will be read, write, execute.
So owner will have all the 3 permissions.
Yeah, group also
Group
will
will
have
have
the
all 3 permissions. Others will
and
also have
also the
3
three
permissions, because number 7 represents 4 plus 2 plus 1. That's nothing but
That is the
all
read write execute.
permissions.
Yeah, that is
Exactly.
the
Let's
read write
experience it.
execute.
Let's
Yeah.
test. Let's test.
Sunil, my
No, 1
question
minute.
is
Let
that
me. Is this clear? We have
yeah,
all permissions. Am I clear?
yes,
Okay.
it's clear.
Clear about
Yes.
this. Is this clear about how exactly we can change the permissions using the numerical notation? I have one more command, Shika. I
Okay.
have one more command. Can you understand this?
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
What does it happen?
For the owner, it will be read and write. For the group, it will be read and write. But for the others, it will be only write.
For others,
It will be write, read, sorry, not write, read permission,
will
only
be?
for the read. Read. It will be read. Only for the read permissions.
Perfect. I'll look at the number. 6
Yeah.
represents read and write, isn't it? So read and
Yes.
write, read and write, read.
Right,
Okay.
and only read.
Now look at the Shika. Look at my numerical notation importance. Okay.
Okay.
1 stands for what permission?
Execute.
Sure. Are you sure?
Yeah. Execute.
2 represents what permission?
Write.
3 represents what permission?
Write plus execute.
Super. Write and execute. 2 plus 1.
Yeah, 2 plus 1, it's right. So execute.
4.
4 is for read.
Straightforward. Read.
Yeah, it's a read.
5.
Read plus execute, because 4 plus 1. It will be
6.
for. And 6 is for read and write. 4
7.
plus 2.
Sorry,
7
read
for
and
read, write, execute. Like
7 for?
read, write, execute. 4 plus 2 plus 1.
And 0
Or
for?
we can. 0
No
for nothing.
permissions. No permissions.
Yeah. No
Look at
permissions.
this command, Shika. Change mode 770 for the file F1. What happens?
For the owner, it will be all permissions, read and execute. For the second one is like for the group. For the group, yeah. For the group is also read and execute, but for the others, it will be no permission.
Superb. Let's do that. Let's test.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, you're right. For others, no permissions at all.
Yeah.
And for
So why it is green? Sunil, why this is
green?
why
This is the
comes green?
latestly changed file. That's it. Just to understand
Okay,
that this is the recent changed file. Okay.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
Are you now in
Yeah,
a
I got it.
are you in a now are you in a position to play around and give the permissions as per the requirement using numerical notation, Shika?
Okay. Yeah.
Is it difficult?
Sure.
Is it difficult? Not at all, isn't it?
Not at all. Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you, whatever the permissions you want, now you're in a position. If anybody wants read, you are in a position to write. If you want to have read and execute, you can interpret it and write. Now your position. The first digit indicates for owner. The second digit indicates for group. The third digit for indicates. That's got it.
Okay.
You are in a position to anything, isn't it, Shika?
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
got it. Thank you.
Very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you for your time. I hope I'm very clear. I hope I'm very clear in explaining you the permissions and also knowing you how can we change the permissions using the numerical notation. One more example. 1, 2, 3 for the file F1. 1 reference execute. Owner will have execute permission. 2 represents write permission. Group will have write permission. 3 represents write and execute. Others will have write and execute. Whatever you want, you can play around. You're done successfully. ls-l. Now are you able to get owner is having execute, group is having write, and others is having write and execute. Are you in a position to play around? Yes, superb. So like this, you should be in a position to comfortably deal with changing the permissions as per the requirement. Okay. Viresh, good evening. I can see your hand raised, Viresh. You are allowed to unmute and you are allowed to talk.
Yeah, hi Sunil, how are you?
Doing good, Viresh. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Am I clear in explaining the understanding the file permissions and how can we change the permissions using the numerical notation?
It's absolutely good.
Thank you, Viresh. Yes, your question, please.
No, I don't have any actually. I don't have any question.
Okay, okay.
Just general feedback. I would like to give.
Yes, please.
I'm attending this AWS and as well as the DevOps.
Okay.
So when I attend the class, the fifth class I have attended AWS.
Okay. So first 4 class you missed it.
Yeah, I missed it.
Okay. Okay.
Bad,
Fifth, right from 5th session you are attending.
Yes, yes. But the teaching, the way of teaching, it was amazing actually. To be frank.
Okay. Thank you.
So from actually,
Okay.
I don't I don't have time to wake up at 6 o'clock, but still I'm putting alarm and wake up and attending your classes.
Okay.
And I'm sorry for interrupt your
no.
class.
You're welcome.
Sorry, DevOps class now, which we are which you're teaching now. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the general feedback.
I'm sure.
Question, right?
As per I'm sure. I do my best to keep up to your expectations, like AWS. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Viresh. May I know your location?
I'm from Bangalore.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. May I know your experience?
So I have 4 years of experience into banking actually.
Banking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now
you're planning
DevOps.
to switch from banking to IT industry.
Yes.
Acquire skills, Viresh. The first most important thing, people think lot before acquiring skills. First thing, you have to acquire the skills. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a roadmap for success. You have to be strong in that particular roadmap. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hopefully we'll have more success stories in this particular batch. How do you got to know about our training?
Actually, one of your friend has referred. Even he want to join. I know after some days because he has some exams from 28th of this month. So one of your friend has referred me to join.
My friend? May I know his name?
His name Anand actually. He worked in Hyderabad.
Okay. In DevOps and AWS?
No, he's into Oracle.
Right.
Yeah, Oracle Fusion. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you, Viresh.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hope you are now comfortable dealing with understanding the file permissions. Now you're in a position to change the file permissions using the numerical notation. It's pretty simple. Let's have one more discussion and then get into the other way of changing the permissions by using alphabetical notation. Okay. Santosh Dasari.
Hi Sunil, how are you?
Hi Santosh, I'm doing well. Santosh, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yes.
Actually, I have created AWS account.
Very good.
And downloaded the Git bash as well. And when I'm trying to connect, there is a permission denied, and it says public key pair is
missing.
Yeah.
You need to open the terminal, and the terminal should point out to the location where the key pair is saved. Did you check that?
Yeah, I open in the same fashion where
you will get it.
The folder and opening.
When you're creating a Linux machine on AWS, you should make sure that the SSH port is open. Okay. Did you just follow the recording, whatever I have done it?
Santosh? Yes. Yeah.
Please watch the recording and open the terminal, and you will get it. Okay. If it is an office mission, if you are practicing from your office laptop, maybe your office firewall settings may stop you to connect. If it is a personal laptop, you should be able to successfully do that, Santosh. Okay. Please try.
Does the VPN affect on the laptop? Maybe.
Yes. VPN stop. Your office VPN?
Yeah, it's office.
Please stop the VPN when you're practicing AWS. You will not get the right results.
Okay, I will try again.
Okay, please stop it. Yes. Let's move on. Understanding the file permissions, done. Changing the file permissions, we have done it. Using numerical notations, we have completed. Let's learn how can we change the file permissions using the second notation that is called as alphabetical notation. Even this is simple. Alphabetical notation is also pretty simple. Let's try to understand the alphabetical notation. Let's move on understanding how can we change the permissions using the alphabetical notation. Before getting into that alphabetical notation, we know we have 3 types of users, right? Owner, group, others. We know that. In alphabetical notation, there is an alphabet which will indicate a particular user. Owner is indicated with letter U. U refers to owner. G refers to group. It is easy to understand. And O refers to others. Letter O represents others. We have two O's, so to avoid the confusion, one O letters to others, and owner is represented with letter U. This is alphabetical notation. Okay. Now, as you know, alphabetical notation, let's have one more quick understanding. We use plus symbol to give the permissions, very meaningful. And when we use minus symbol to remove the permission. Very meaningful. Plus for adding the permissions and minus for removing the permissions. Let's start playing with alphabetical notation. That's pretty simple. Let's consider the same file F1. Let's consider the same file F1. Okay. Viresh, can we have a talk if it is okay for you? You are allowed to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to understand. Are you clear with numerical notation?
No, sorry. Actually, I was not in the class. Actually, I was doing some.
Okay. Okay. So let's try to understand how can we change the permissions using alphabetical notation. Clear about this?
Yes.
Owner is represented with letter U, and group is represented with letter G, and others is represented with letter O. Okay. And plus symbol we use for adding the permission, and minus symbol we use for removing the permissions from particular user. Okay. Now let's try to understand considering the file F1. Viresh, for the file F1, look at others. Others is having what permissions? You are allowed to unmute. Yes, Viresh, we can hear you now.
If you don't mind, can you continue, please?
For the file F1,
yeah,
others is having what permission?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't attend this class. Please.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
please.
fine. Okay,
yeah.
No problem, Viresh. Thank you. Okay, but I recommend you to go through the recording. This is important.
Yeah, definitely. I'll...
Please. Okay, let's move on. Let's try to understand this example. For the file F1, others is having write and execute. I want to give read permission also. I want to give the permission for others. I want to add the permission. Whenever you want to add the permission, what symbol you need to use? Plus. So for this scenario, I want to give the permission. I want to give read permission to the file F1. So you need to use plus symbol. Look at the command, change mode. You want to give permission for owner. Do you want to give permission for group, or do you want to give permissions for others? I want to give permission for others. Others is represented with letter O. So I use O. I hope you are very clear why I'm using O, because I want to change the permission to others. Do I want to give the permission, or do you want to remove the permission? I want to give the permission. So I use the symbol plus. And what permission I want to give? Right now, others is having write and execute. I want to give read permission. So R represents read permission. For the file F1, that's it. Very simple. Done. Previously, others is having only write execute. Now it is having read, write, execute. Perfect. I'm able to do that. I want to remove the write permission, whatever I have given it. It's very simple. Just use minus to remove the permission. That's it. ls-l. I'm back. Now others is not having a read permission. I'm able to add the permission by using plus symbol, and I want to remove the permission. I can use minus symbol, and O represents others. In the same way, you can add the permissions to owner. You can add the permissions to the group accordingly. Clear? Isn't it? Let's discuss few more examples. Considering the file F9. Considering the file F9, what is the current permissions of F9? Let's take a note. Let's take a note of the current permissions. Currently, the file F9 is having read write hyphen. That is for owner. Read write hyphen. For group. Read hyphen hyphen. For others, this is the current permissions for what file? For the file F9. This is my current permissions for the file F9. Now I want to change the permissions. What is your requirement? Okay, so what is my requirement is I want owner should have read write execute. I don't want to disturb the group. Let it be as it is. And I want to remove the read permission for others. Others should not have any permission. This is my requirement. This is the current state and this is the required state. Currently, owner is having only 2 permissions. Now owner should have all the permissions, and group we are not disturbing at all. And I want to disturb the permissions for others. Currently, others is having read permission. I want to remove the read permission. Okay, this is what we want to do. Tejas, are you in a position to do what we want? Can you frame the command? Okay.
I might try. Yeah, let me try.
Okay. First, the command
mode.
is I'll help you. Change mode.
Change
okay.
mode. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to change the permissions for owner?
Then yeah, for all.
Yeah. What is owner? Owner. What letter is owner represented with?
U.
U. For owner, do you want to give the permission or remove the permission?
So I think I should add. Yeah. Read write is as it is. Then the last one I should add.
That means you want to give the permission to owner or you want to remove the permission?
No, I should give permission.
When you want to give the permission, you need to use what symbol?
Plus.
Plus. What permission you are planning to give?
Execute. So
execute is letter S.
X.
Comma. Separate with comma.
Okay.
Okay. And then
G.
G. Don't worry. G we are not disturbing. Come to others.
Okay. Okay. Then directly O.
Okay. O. For others, you want to remove or add?
Remove.
Remove. So what symbol I
remove
should use?
R. Minus
so
R.
Minus. What
R.
permission you want to remove?
This reading.
What permission? What permission? Read permission.
Read permission.
For the file F9.
Yes.
Tejas. Okay. Let's experience it.
Yep.
So you can separate with comma when you want to deal with multiple users. Okay. Clear, Tejas? I think we are done successfully. Let's come back and verify. F9. Yeah. For owner, you have successfully added the permission, and for others, you have successfully removed the permission. Tejas, is it difficult?
No. It's
not at all.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Simple, na?
Yeah. And why are those colors changing actually? Now
that's the latest.
Green.
Forget that's the latest. These are the files which are updated. Okay. The permissions. They are indicated with green color. But is this clear? Tejas?
Yes.
Numerical notation as well as alphabetical notation. In fact, both are easy.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Do you agree with me? Both are easy.
Yes.
Isn't it? So whichever you want, whichever you feel comfortable, you please write the related command, and you should be in a position to change the permissions. Yeah. Clear, Tejas? Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. As simple as that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Tejas, for your time. Okay. Numerical notation, alphabetical notation. You are in a position. I want to discuss about one more symbol. I don't want to make it complicated. We have plus for adding the permissions, you know that, and minus symbol for removing the permissions. We have equal to symbol also. I just want to show you one example of an equal to symbol. Can we talk again, Tejas? Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Consider file F6. Owner is having read write.
Read write, okay? Yeah.
Owner is having read write, but my requirement owner should have execute. Read write should be lost. Read write should be replaced with what the permission? Execute permission. Change mode. You want to disturb the permissions for owner. For owner, what letter you have to use? U. Look at this. For owner, we need to use letter U.
Yeah.
Okay. Equal to X for the file. Which file I want to discuss for? I want to deal for F6. The older permissions will be replaced. Okay, F6 equal to is nothing but replacing the existing permissions with the new permissions. Okay. In fact, if there is no equal to symbol, what you have to do first, you need to use a minus symbol for removing the permissions, and then you need to use plus symbol for adding the permissions, isn't it, Tejas? You have to do it 2 times. Rather than that, you can use equal to symbol to replace the existing permissions with the new permissions as per your requirement. Am I clear, Tejas?
Yep.
In fact, it is simple, isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
So important is understanding the, thank you Tejas. So important is understanding the permissions, not only understanding the permissions. Now you are in a comfortable way of changing the permissions using both the notations, the numerical notation as well as alphabetical notation. Okay. Okay. It's already 5:30, so let's have a quick questionnaire. There's something more pending in today's class. What is repository, that is package management, and then VI editor. I want to discuss about how can we use pipe command in Linux, but definitely these points cannot be discussed in today's session. I want to keep these commands, keep these points in the next session. So before ending session, two things I want to give a note. I'm getting many messages that few participants are not in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So I'm sending a chat WhatsApp group invite link in the chat box. Pick up the WhatsApp group link, and then if you are not part of, if you are already in the WhatsApp group, please do not join the duplicate groups. If you are not in the WhatsApp group, take the WhatsApp group link from the chat box and then join the WhatsApp group to get this particular current batch updates. Okay. Okay. So before ending, let's have a question. Naveen Maraya. I can see your hand raised, Naveen. If you have any question, you are allowed to unmute and talk. No questions? Okay. Sarvana Babu. Naveen, I think
Yes.
you are unmuted. Yes.
Yes, Sunil. Yes.
I can hear you, Naveen.
Naveen here.
Yeah.
Your teaching skills are excellent, sir.
Okay. Thank you,
I
Naveen.
love the way
You know this Linux, or you already know this, or it's something new for you?
Yeah, I know. I've
You
done.
know Linux.
Yeah.
So probably this could be something boring for you because you already know all these concepts, but the right topic starts from after a couple of days we get into Git. Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, Sunil. But it's
Yes.
still interesting for me. It's like a revision for me.
Okay, thank you, Naveen. Yes, your question, please.
And one more thing, yesterday one student asked regarding with a single command, can we create a directory and subdirectories within a directory?
As you know, Naveen, we have to list out all the commands and make it as a script and run it, which you want.
There is one more command using mkdir-p parent option. We can create
Okay,
multiple
that's specific to directories. But
Yes.
in case any other set of commands, you can do it in the form of a script, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Anything more, Naveen? What's your weekend plan?
Nothing else, just to practice AWS and DevOps.
May I know your experience?
Actually, I worked for 2.3 years in some non-IT company. Then later I quit the job, and as of now, I'm looking into
planning to get into IT industry.
Yeah, that's why I took this.
Okay, good. Okay, hope be focused and hope you'll successfully help in shifting your platform. Okay.
Yes,
in this
sure.
pandemic time, we should be more serious and get into get our required ideas to execute. Okay, Naveen.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And please complete the payment formalities because the meeting link may change. Okay, the meeting links may change. So please, I have shared you the payment links. Please complete the payment formalities and proceed with the next session. And we know it is 5 days a week. There is no session on Saturday and Sunday. No session on Saturday and Sunday. The next session, continuation of this session will be Monday evening, where we'll be discussing about pipe command, package management, which is package management is very, very important. So that's our plan for our Monday session. Please use this weekend time to explore more about DevOps, know more about DevOps, spend some time hands-on. Okay, and complete the formalities because the payment link may change by the management. Okay, so thank you and have a nice weekend. Before ending, let's have one more questionnaire, one last discussion. Joydeep, how are you?
Hi, I am good. What about you?
Doing well, Mukherjee.
Your speaking and quality of teaching is very nice.
Thank you. How do you got to know about our details?
Yeah, I got the details from Facebook. There is a DevOps community on that.
Okay.
But I
Okay. So how is your learning experience? Good.
Yeah, very nice, very fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I think
Any technical?
yeah.
Any technical question?
The technical, no. I have been one. I understand everything. What you today learn. And
Okay.
one thing I want to know: can you give all the command in a one document so that it will help us?
There's one document already about the list of Linux commands in our Telegram group. Okay. Okay. So
Okay, I am not in Telegram group.
In the WhatsApp, are you in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I am in WhatsApp.
In the WhatsApp group description, there is a Telegram group link. Okay. Join the
Okay.
Telegram group. You have more material in it.
Okay.
Joy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Sunil,
you all. Yes.
I have one doubt.
Yeah, Naveen.
Do we need to learn the complete Linux administrator part?
Not
like
required. That's what I have mentioned already. You don't need to be a Linux administrator because
Okay.
our role is not Linux administration. We should be knowing in basics of Linux, which are frequently used in the DevOps role. Okay, that's enough. Naveen. Okay.
Yeah, Sunil, we will learn the Ansible as well. Ansible?
Yes, Ansible is part of our course. Yeah, you are right.
Okay, part of
We also learn Ansible. That's important.
What about Terraform?
Terraform is not as this is the part of AWS Terraform. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all. Yes, Sarvana.
Hi Sunil. Regarding the DevOps, we need any sysop knowledge is required to learn
Not
DevOps.
required. Not required. SysOps is different. DevOps is different. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And see you. Have a nice weekend. Spend some time exploring skills and see you on Monday, same time. Thank you very much. Bye.